Which will be presented by from Jumeirah College School.
Hi, as I've been introduced, my name is Kirsty Lewis. I'm from JC. I'm not going to bore you too much with that right at this moment in time. You've all got a number in front of you. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to call out a different type of number. When I call out your type of number, you're going to stand up. For example, if I call out primes, if your number is a prime number, then we stand up. Okay? Are we ready? I know it's the last session of the day. Just 40 minutes to go, that's it. Okay. We'll start nice and easy. Can all the even numbers stand up, please? Excellent, thank you. Sit down. Can I have all the odd numbers, please? Yeah, everybody else. Lovely, fantastic. Sit down, great. Can I have all the prime numbers, please? What's the prime number again? Lovely, sit down, thank you. Can I have all the factors of 100 stand up, please? Factors of 100. All the numbers that we can multiply together to get 100. Lovely, thank you, sit down. Can I have all the multiples of 4? 4 times table, lovely, thank you very much. Sit down. Can I have all the square numbers stand up, please? The numbers, lovely. All the cube numbers, thank you, sit down. All the cube numbers stand up, please. It's definitely more than 2, 3 cube numbers. Thank you very much, sit down. Can all the square roots stand up, please? Thank you, sit down. All numbers are. Thank you. Okay. Could you just tell everybody your point?
All had to stand up because every number is a square number.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. Right, I'll stop you there. Don't worry. You can have a sit down for a while. Okay, that was the warm-up. I'm not going to make you get on the treadmill. It's all over. Let me just tell you a really brief bit about me. This is my 5th year of teaching. I've come from England. This is my 2nd year here in Dubai. And I've come from an all-boys grammar school. So the challenges that Dubai offer are obviously very different to what I was going through in the UK. But it's been absolutely brilliant working in a different climate. So I'm really enjoying it here so far. Loving JC, one key point on there, over 60 nationalities. That's not something that I've been used to before, and that's something that I think we all need to bear in mind is we are working with so many students that come from so many different backgrounds, and we don't know what their expectations were before, what teachers expected of them. And we need to make sure that what we now expect of them, that they know. We need to make sure it's crystal clear for them so that they can achieve. That's just something really important that I wanted to highlight at the start. It's a post-16 course. There's a line on there which makes me really proud to be a maths teacher. It is the most popular subject at JC. I feel really privileged when I have my year 12s and 13s come into the class because they want to be there. They are interested, they are engaged. That lends itself really nicely to getting into bad habits of chalk and talk. And sometimes that's exactly what the kids want. Just tell me the formula, just tell me the answer. And we do it because we get a little bit lazy sometimes, and I'm guilty of that as well. So what we need to make sure that we're doing is we're keeping our practice fresh, we're keeping them engaged, we're keeping them interested. Because that's the only way at the end of the day they're going to get that deep understanding that's going to help them to decide whether this is something that they're going to carry on in future life or something that they're going to use again. So really, really proud of that, but just need to make sure that we're not getting into those bad habits. Right, I always do a 3-part lesson, a starter, main and a plenary. Yeah, even at 6th form I definitely do that because the students need to know at the end of the lesson, what have I learned? What have I taken away from today's lesson? So I always make sure it's broken up into 3 because as 6th formers they get bored as well. So these are some of the activities I really, really like to use. I'm conscious I'm talking very fast, so please stop me and ask me to clarify absolutely anything because I've got so much I want to tell you today. One line at a time, and the one at the bottom, the write and throw, is a really nice activity I use a lot, especially with 6th formers, because it gets their brains working. You give them a question, you can give them all the same question, you can give them different questions, you give them past paper questions, anything that you like. You get them to answer the first line only. They either fold it over, write and throw I recommend only with sixth formers. They scrump it up into a ball and throw it to somebody else. Obviously, I have strict rules with this. After 3, 1, 2, 3, otherwise you'll have paper going everywhere. They then get their next piece of paper. They answer the second line. Pass it on. They answer the third line. But what they've got to do is understand where the other person left off, try and understand their method to then apply it onwards. They might be repeating. They might see a quicker way to get from line 1 to line 4, to skip over the first two methods, the first 2 lines that they might not have included. So I really like that one. GAR questions, green, amber and red, I use it all the time. As you can see, we've got some green, amber, red around the room, but we'll get to those in a little minute, same as name and question. Scale, we get moody sixth formers. Sometimes they have on the board a really, really happy face on one side and a really, really sad face on the other. They write their name on a post-it note, topics on the board, how much do you understand? And they'll probably start off at the unhappy side. I've seen it before. I'm a little bit to the right-hand side of the unhappy face. I've seen it before, don't really know much about it. Give them 3, 4 chances in the lesson. How much do you understand now? How confident do you now feel with the subject? And you'll see all of those unhappy faces go to sad at the end of the lesson. And they can see the progression and they feel successful because they've moved from one end of the scale all the way to the other, just in one lesson. So that's a really nice one to use. Role play. I used to teach maths and drama when I was back in the UK when I was training. And I remember thinking, why on earth would I teach drama and maths? It just doesn't work. Sixth formers love pretending to be somebody that they're not. They absolutely love it. Pretend today you're going to be a banker. You're going to be an accountant. You're going to be the man that owns the zoo down the road and he's got financial problems. They absolutely love it. And getting them into a different habit than what they are as just being students is really, really nice for that one. I'm not going to go on too much more. I want you to actually do some maths questions because I'm hoping I've got mostly mathematicians in here. I'll put some green ones up there for those people that aren't. On the board there are green, amber and red questions, the level of difficulty of those. Hopefully you can see them from where you're sitting. All I'd like you to do is on paper try and answer one of those questions. You might think, feel a little bit tired, I'm just going to go for the green. That's absolutely fine. You might think I'm going straight for the red. I can do this, no problem. As soon as you can answer the question and you have a solution, please go up to the sheet of paper and write your name anywhere on it. Thank you. Anywhere on it at all. The idea is to get as many done in 4 minutes. Get your name on as many sheets of paper in 4 minutes as possible. But beware, if you write your name very small, I will only come over there with a marker and write it 4 times as big. Okay? Don't cheat. You've got 4 minutes, off you go. Yeah, please go up, write on them. As soon as you've got an answer, please go write your name on them. No calculators as well. Oh, good, do the red. Challenging. We're fastly approaching 2 minutes, ladies and gents. Your name, no, just your name. Answer in your sheet, but your name when you can answer it. Yep. Make sure you write your name on the sheets of paper, please. Just a minute and a half left.
Times. 'Less than a minute. If you haven't got your name on one, aim to get your name on at least just one, ladies and gents, please.
This one?
30 seconds. Ten seconds left. Last couple of names to go on, please, and sit yourselves down. Okay, thank you very much. Can I have everyone sitting back down, please? Okay. We've got loads of names on the piece of paper. Absolutely fantastic. The trick now comes in, how do you choose who's going to give you the answer? You'll always have a student saying, don't pick on me, you always pick on me, that's not fair. I would get another member of the class to stand in front of the sheet of paper and anonymously point behind. We'll go for AD. AD, is that your answer?
Yeah.
45 centimetres, that's absolutely correct. I wouldn't usually, it's a junior UKMT question, you're okay. I wouldn't usually just tell them the answer, I would actually get them to come out and present their answer. So AD, if you wouldn't mind, could you come out and just show us how you actually got to 45 centimetres, please? As a class, you can now check that what AD's doing matches your working. It might be he's used a different method, absolutely brilliant. You've now learned 2 ways to answer the question. It might be that he makes a mistake, okay? And we can just pick him up on that. So we'll see now. So that's a good. Does anybody disagree with that answer? Perfect. I would then go on to ask the students, has anybody got a different way of answering that question, and then get the students up to actually either challenge or just give us another different way. I'd obviously then go through. I'm going to read out the answers for you so at least you can have a little bit of a feeling of success when you've completed these. The green one over there is 86,720. The green one over on this side is 0.0000472,689. Amber one on this side is 8. Fantastic, lots of yeses, brilliant. Amber one on that side is 183. Red one we've already been through on that side is 45, and the red one on this side is 1,490. So hopefully you're all fine with those. Okay, now as I mentioned before, at sixth form we do get in the habit of chalk and talk, and I really want to help you today to give you some ideas for stepping away from that. Now, let me just give you the picture of the current year 13 class that I'm teaching. Now, the differentiation for me has got to be extensive because I've got to predict an A star down to a D. It's really, really difficult. Obviously, there's people that are teaching IB, you're going to have your different levels. It is difficult because I don't want to lose the 2 students that are getting the C and the D grades. I want to make sure that they're still learning, that they're still keeping up, they're still getting everything that they need to push that D to a C, push that C to a B. Okay? So it's really, really important that differentiation happens every single lesson. Now, that only comes, not from me just telling them the answer, but from those words that are on the board, making it exciting, making it interesting, making it relevant to the real world. Letting them discover it themselves. That self-discovery is huge, because when they go to university, they're not going to be told the answers. They're going to be given days, weeks, to research an actual answer. So we've got to make sure we're getting them into good practices now. Okay? So, some of the key activities that I like to use. Relay races, you're all going to find out in a minute. Tarsia are I'm sure we're all using these at the moment, but they are little jigsaw puzzles. Now you match up the answer with the correct question, and vice versa. These are really nice. Please feel free to have a look at those at the end of the lesson. Mini whiteboards you've all got there just to do some working on. Now, mini whiteboards are probably a really old activity. We all use those, we've all got sets of those. Now, the key thing is, maths isn't a closed subject. It isn't, what's the answer to 6 times 5? We can all do that, we can all hold up the answer. How did you get to 6 times 5? What other way could you get to 6 times 5? And everybody, if you ask everybody to answer the same question, they'll all give you a different solution on their boards. So you get in a whole classroom full of different solutions. And you can have one student here at the front writing all those solutions down, scribing for the whole class that have now got a whole board of answers as opposed to just their own idea. So mini whiteboards are brilliant, but just make sure that they're utilised to their fullest extent. Green, amber and red cards, a lot of you have got those. Sorry, I've only got a certain amount of sets. I made these when I was training because I had a lot of time then. Now I don't have as much time, unfortunately. These are lovely. If they're answering a question and you say to them, right, could you just hold up your answer to a certain question? And they think, I really don't know what I'm doing. Oh, it's really awful. They'll hold it up with a red. Or they think, this is far too easy for me. I'm getting bored. I'm going to hold it up with a green. I then know that that student in the class needs something more challenging. I can go over and give them a little extension question. I can give them another role in the class. Okay? Roles are really important. Some of you are lucky enough to have been given a role today in an envelope. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Autographs are a really nice package I'm just going to go through with you. Writing a report or a lesson. Sometimes you can take the work off yourself by giving a group of students, tomorrow you're going to deliver the starter, you're going to deliver the main, you're going to deliver the plenary. And it just gives them a sense of ownership of the lesson, a sense of ownership of their understanding and their learning, and they can take it to as deep or as to as shallow as they really want to go with it. So that's a really nice one to use as well. Coloured question time. Those people that have got these, can you just share with the person next to you? Do you want to take mine? If you haven't got any, I do apologise. Just maybe take it in turns with the person next to you. Just going to show you how this works. Okay. Right. On the board, you're going to get a question. There are 4 possible solutions. One's coloured green, yellow, red and blue. You're just going to lift up the colour. After it says 3, 2, 1, choose, because we don't want everybody cheating. Not that I think you will. You're going to lift up what you think the actual answer is. So, here's your question. Log of AB can be written as, which colour is correct? Everybody now needs to lift up their colours, please. Yeah? A little bit quicker. It is green, thank you very much, absolutely brilliant. If we can pop those down. Just going to push on the urgency of getting them up quickly because I don't want to think you're all copying each other. Okay, next one. Let me see. Brilliant. Lovely. It is yellow again. Okay. I'm going to stop there and pop those down. It's also really nice to give the students the template quiz. So if you give them the template and you say, right, tomorrow you're going to challenge everyone else in the class, please go away and get some questions on there. And they have to go away and do that and actually think of a question and think of the answer. And creating the questions and creating the answers is a lot more challenging than actually just doing the questions out of the book. So that's a nice activity to use as well. Okay. Right, autograph. Now, I know this is a paid package and I don't know about budgets in different schools. However, the equivalent is called Jumeirah, and that is free online. So if this is something that you're interested in using, then please just have a little look at Jumeirah online. Now, this is a graph package. even though I've been teaching for 5 years, I still find it really difficult to plot an absolutely perfect, exact coset graph, coset plus 1, add-on sign, all of that. I can't do it, I just can't. So it's really nice and easy to use this package. It will plot things, it will solve them, you can differentiate, integrate, slow plot. You can even do statistics on these packages, so it really is nice. Just going to quickly show you for those people that haven't seen it before. This is your sine graph. You can put it into degrees or you can put it into radians. Really nice and easy to put cos straight in afterwards. Just y is cos of x, and there it is. Immediately, because of the accuracy, you can note the relationship straight away. It's really lovely. I haven't got the time to stand there and draw cosec, so I'll just plot it. Again, they can see the symmetry, they can see the relationships, they can start deciding where asymptotes are going to go on there. It really is a lovely package to use. Inequalities obviously doesn't come up in sixth form, but that's also a really good one to use on there. Now, I teach S1. I'm sure some of the people teach statistics as well. I really like this, and I know someone else in the room also likes this because they might have created it. We are a very competitive department, rightly or wrongly so. We like to compare our results, so we put everything in on there. If we show students this, I know that my class said, I can't believe we're not beating the other class, that's not fair. And it really gives them a drive to achieve better. It does everything for you. It works out your lower quartile, upper quartile, everything that you need. The median gets worked, it just plots it straight on there for you. It's then really nice to talk about skewness, talk about comparisons, relate it. Can you create me a A-level question from this now, please? This is your solution, what was your question? So it's just working, it can help you to work backwards, it can just create a whole range of activities for you by just using autograph. So please, if you don't have that package, look at Jumeirah online because that does very similar things. I certainly know with the more algebra. Okay. Relays. This was one of my activities. Now, this is lovely because you can get your students into groups. You can choose the groups, or you can just let them choose themselves. The beauty about choosing your own groups is you can differentiate it. You can have your weakest students, or you can have a mixed group so you know that they're going to help each other. I did this very recently for the DSIB lesson, and I had students in groups that were mixed ability, and I gave them a pack of red, amber and green questions from past papers. And I said to them, right, you have got to attempt at least one red, one green and one amber question throughout this lesson. And I gave them points depending on how many marks for each question. And they had to do as many as possible, and they had to keep bringing the questions back to me, going back, and DSLB absolutely loved it. They thought it was a fantastic activity because of the differentiation, because of the teamwork and the collaboration amongst the group. So we're going to have a little go at this. Now you'll notice on the front chair here, you've all been given a team name. So this is addition, beta, etc. You've all been given a team name. The row is going to have to be your team today. I'm going to ask you to all sort of good job and work together. Now, there must only be one runner. I don't want a whole room full of people running around all over the place. There is one runner. That person is going to be the one that comes and gives me the answer. Let me just explain how it works a little bit better. Here is the question, okay? You're going to take this question, you're going to answer it amongst yourselves as a team. As I said before, you could be colour-coding them, you could be grading them, they could just be past exam questions, absolutely anything that you like. So the students take the question, they answer it, they bring it back to me. Only if it's correct, I'll give them the second question. If it isn't correct, I might give them a little hint, or I might get a team that's already moved on one to give them a hint. Obviously I can't do this in here today, but what I would usually do is have the team names down the side, and then they stick it on the board. And then we know which team's in the lead, and then that just gives them a little bit more motivation. So I'm going to come and give these out. We're going to do this for about 5 minutes, and we'll see who gets the most questions done in that amount of time. So just hold on to your questions once I've given you them back. So there you go. Do you want to answer?
Yeah, I would join.
Do you want to join? Okay, there you go. Yeah, right on the paper. Oh, that was quick. Right, you can keep on there. There you go. Question 2. Yeah. It is an A, I'm afraid. Have a try again. The answers look good though.
Third one. What the second one?
What the second one? The last one. How the second one?
You're a good runner, huh?
So much pressure. You need that one. Much better, well done.
Summer running. It's very slow. It's going.
See, the average speed is so 5 times 3 is 5 times 4 is 20.
Right, we're going to stop there. Does that make sense though? Just
Get on track.
That is correct. Thank you. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, right, I'm going to stop there. Which team got up to question 7? Give us the team at the back. Yeah, you. Well done. I think you did as well. Fantastic. So well done. 7 was the furthest question, so brilliant. Well done. I was just asked, I just want to share it with you all.
I tried to cheat.
How did I know the answers so quickly? And it's because I've highlighted them and I've got them on the sheet here. Now, obviously, if you're going to give this to a class, you wouldn't have a class this big as well, give them questions that take them a little bit longer. Okay? It might make it a little bit easier. Okay. Right. We're just going to finish it with a couple of preliminary ideas. Now, can you spot the mistake is my absolute favourite. I'll print off a past exam question and I will do it incorrect. Sometimes we make mistakes and that is okay. But if you get a question and you try and do it wrong, sometimes it's a little bit hard. But if you do a question completely wrong, the student's got to go through and they've got to analyse what has gone wrong, where it's gone wrong, where would they have lost marks, how many marks would they have got for the question? Could they create a mark scheme? Don't give them the mark scheme. Can they create a mark scheme for that question? Can they do it correct? So it lends itself to a lot of extension activities and a lot of ideas from just can you spot the mistake. Teacher talk, very similar, get them up here, get them doing your job as well, because sometimes they've got different ways of explaining things which are a little bit easier for students than some of the language that we might use. Newsflash again, a bit of a report. Exceptional Edexcel examiner. Obviously if you're not Edexcel, you're a different board, that's okay. Get them to create a past question and use it as a start to next lesson. So your homework tonight is to go away and create a question with a mark scheme, using correct mark scheme notation. Make sure they're obviously familiar with the mark scheme, and come in tomorrow and swap them amongst the class. Get them to level them. Is it a C, a B, an A, or obviously if it's IB then a different leveled question. And then you can swap them amongst yourselves. Sometimes I have a red, amber and a green basket. And then they put the questions in the particular basket. Obviously you could have grades on the baskets and they go and choose whichever one they want to attend that lesson. So don't try and stop them if they're being a little bit lazy. Please don't take this the wrong way, but you're just going to teach the alien next to you. You are going to describe, you've only got 30 seconds I'm afraid, one thing that you have found valuable this lesson. So please make sure that you're taking it in turns. You want to listen to the person's idea because they might have thought about something today that you could now use. So 30 seconds each, so you've got 60 seconds in total. If you go, teach the person next to you. Teach the alien. You're so quiet. Oh, would you like to teach me?
Sorry? You want to film you?
We are discussing.
They were the green and the red.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, very last thing, and I promise I will stop talking. 4 people were given roles today. Could you stand up if you were given a role in an envelope today, please? There were 4 of you. Definitely 4. Thank you very much. What was your role today?
It's to summarize the main news report.
News reporter. You had to summarise within 60 seconds. Okay.
Today.
And have you done your task?
Yeah.
Would you like to share it with everybody, please?
I like today the questions technique, the game, and I like the relay race and this treasure hunters. I like it, and I like to let people move. As if we are students, and let the students feel what will happen if they keep sitting on the
Lovely. Thank you very much. Can I speak to us? Sorry to keep you standing a little bit longer. What I really like about these, thank you for sharing, is if you've got a student that likes to sit at the back and do not very much, give them a role. Because you know that they've got to be focusing all lessons to make sure that they do their task at the end. Because I will pick them up at the end of the lesson. Can you now share your role with me? Can you now tell me what it is that you were given extra to do this lesson? Would you like to share yours, please?
Well, I didn't do mine, so I didn't understand that part. It said I was supposed to be a creative thinker, and my role was to think of 2 different activities I could use doing green, amber, and red questioning.
Okay. we can open it out if anybody else has got any ideas that they would like to
Anybody?
have.
Let's open the floor.
Yeah, we'll open the floor. Has anybody got 2 ideas that they might use the green, amber and red questioning for? Any situations or any activities? Don't all shout at once. No? Can you think of one on the spot?
It would probably just be like another game where you get more points for the different colors of questioning.
Okay. It lends itself really nice to a game.
Yeah.
Okay. Do your activity next time. Sit down, please.
Sorry.
And what was yours?
I'm an educator, so I need to summarise in 3 key points what's being discussed.
Yeah.
I would say that it's important to keep it fresh and engaging, even though they're sixth formers, it doesn't have to be boring and traditional with just working from the textbook. Again, I think it's important to keep to be starter, main and plenary for sixth formers, and finally to make it very interactive. Even though they're older doesn't mean they have to just sit down and lesson, they can get up and about and doing things to help their learning.
Thank you very much. You did just us very well. And that is it. I'm going to stop there. Please let me know if there are any questions. We've got 10 minutes now, and I'll happily answer any questions. If there's anything that you need from me, I've got some post-it notes here, and you're welcome to write your email address and a question down, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible with any ideas that I've got. If there's anything that you want from today's session, then please do let me know as well. And I hope you've learned something you can take away and use in your schools. Thank you very much.